Let's start. As usual, we begin by looking for checks and escape squares. Black king has two escape squares, that's g7 and h8. And we have a couple of checks. So first queen f8 doesn't look good because the queen is not protected, the king is going to take it. The second one, queen takes g6, doesn't look good as well because it's protected by two pawns, h7 and f7. Knight h6 check looks okay, but the king can escape to g7 or h8. Knight f6, same idea. So before giving check on h6, we're going to place our queen to f6, take control of these two squares, and now we are ready to deliver checkmate on h6. Looking for checks on escape squares again. This one the only escape square, and h7 is controlled by the bishop on b1. Checks, bishop h7 check doesn't make sense because the black can take with the king, rook, and the knight. Queen takes f7 looks very good. And actually that would be checkmate if our queen is protected. That's why we're starting with knight f3 to e5. Now two pieces attacking of f7 and we're ready to deliver checkmate. This square is taken by the bishop, the queen is protected by the knight. Looking for escape squares, and we can see that the only escape square is b6 for the king, because all the squares controlled by the bishops. Bishop g2 and bishop f4. So we need to give check to win the game, and bishop b8 looks very promising. That's check and checkmate, but the only problem that it's not protected. So we start by bring our rook to protect b8 square, and we all set to deliver checkmate on b8. Escape. The only escape square on g7 and e8. Let's look for checks. And we don't have many, so bishop g6 only check. But again, when we give bishop g6 check, we're going to check the king, control e8 square, but g7 square is still available for the king. So first we're making a setup move, bishop h6, and now we're ready to. So that's all squares are taken, and now bishop g6 is going to checkmate the king. It seems that black has a lot of escape squares, but in reality it's not too many, because bishop a6 check looks very dangerous because there is no way to block this check. Then white is going to control b7 and c8. The only two squares left, c7 and b8, and our bishop is going to control that. So we just need to remove our knight first. So now our bishop is controlling these two squares, and bishop a6 is going to take away the rest. So that's all squares are taken by the bishops. That's checkmate. Escape squares. Looking for escape squares on checks. The king has just one escape square on h8. Queen can give check on h7 and g7. h7 looks okay, but it's hard to say how we can protect our queen here. But g7 looks much better because after bishop b2, the bishop controls all the squares and giving support to the queen. Queen h6 to g7 checkmate. The king has just one escape square here. And checks, we can give check on h4, but that won't work because the g3 pawn is going to take. Check on e2 won't work as well because knight and two knights and the queen is protecting. The queen g2 looks, or h1 looks very good. But we need to support our queen. So we bring bishop to d5 and then we checkmate on h1. Just one escape square for the king. Checks, we have one check on f2. Still our queen is not protected. We need to bring some support. So knight e4 won't work because the e4 square is controlled by the pawn and by the knight. So that's why we place it on g4. So now we're all set to deliver checkmate on f2. The white king has just one escape square here, and we have not too many checks available. We can bring our knight to g2 or f3. To g2 it's hard to do it because the e3 square is protected and g2 square is protected by their rook. Knight h2 to f3 or knight e5 to f3 would work perfectly. So let's go to the center first and then take a look. So that's check on f3. The knight attacking two squares d2 and e1, and the king cannot escape here because of the bishop. So knight f3, that's checkmate. Looking for escape squares, and this is just one. And for checks now, knight f6 would have been good check and even checkmate, but the f6 is protected by the knight on the 8. Knight g5, another check. Their h6 pawn is pinned, so that's check, and king has to escape to g8. That's not check. So before going knight g5, we're going to go bishop e6. We're going to control this square, and now we are ready to checkmate on g5. The rook on h1 pinning their h-pawn. Escape squares, no escape squares for the black king. All squares are taken by the rook and their pawn and knight. And let's look for checks. We can see just one check available, rook g8. We cannot play it the right way because it's not protected. Bring in support knight to f3, rook g8, checkmate.